Prince Harry and Meghan Markle were once the talk of the town. From the UK to Tinseltown, they were hot property and attracted adoration and interest from a legion of loyal fans and the media. But after a string of failed business deals and humiliating gaffes, the Sussexes' reputation has never recovered, despite their PR machine working in overdrive. Sky News All Stars Kinsey Schofield, Mollard and Piers Morgan take a look at Meghan and Harry's desperate attempt to resuscitate their reputation. Meghan and Harry are in damage control. After 2 years of being caught out in lies, failed business deals, and relentless mocking by the industry, the Sussexes are working desperately to win back the praise of the public, according to the Daily Mirror's associate editor, Russell Myers.
What is interesting is this is coming at a time where we are looking at Harry and Meghan trying to sort of repair their reputation, and it's been battered and bruised over the last few months. Their Netflix deal is potentially on the rocks. The Spotify deal was pulled from under them. Disney didn't want to work with Meghan anymore, and certainly she was on a red carpet the other day, pretty much making it up on the spot, saying we've got loads of interesting things in the pipeline, you just wait and see. Me and my husband are very, very excited about the future. However, what does the future look like? And that's certainly something that we've talked about, that Harry is trying to maybe set those sort of green shoots for a relationship with his father, calling him on his birthday, sending him a video message of the kids. And then if he wants to repair a relationship with his father, then this is going to be all noise in the background and very, very unwelcome indeed. And
Royal commentator Kinsey Schofield agrees, saying Harry and Meghan are looking to move to the centre of the action in LA rather than stay in quiet Montecito in an effort to have more eyeballs on them.
Joining me now is royal commentator and host of the To Die For daily podcast, Kinsey Schofield. Kinsey, let's start with some breaking news on the Sussexes. Tell me what Harry and Meghan's next big move is going to be.
That's right. This is coming straight from TMZ today, that Harry and Meghan are looking at real estate closer within Los Angeles County, within LA. They want to move south from Montecito, according to TMZ. Rita, I don't know if you've read some of these reports that Meghan has been staying in hotels by William Morris Endeavor quite a bit lately. There have been some appearances on Twitter, people grabbing selfies with Meghan outside of hotels, but a lot of rumors circulating because Meghan was spending so much time in the city. So it looks like maybe they've broken down and said, let's just, move to Paparazziville. These are two people that stress that they need more privacy, yet would be heading to the photography capital, celebrity photography capital of the world.
It would be quite hilarious if, let's go back a couple of years, and the whole reason for moving away from the royals, from London, from public service was to live private lives, to just live like ordinary people away from the media glare. And then you end up in LA? That makes perfect sense.
News Corp columnist Louise Roberts adds the priority for Meghan and Harry's PR team is that they're seen as well-connected and wealthy, so they continue to stay relevant in Hollywood.
I think with Harry and Meghan, it's important for them to feel they're seen as green, but what's more important is for them to appear to be wealthy and well-connected. That's really their agenda.
Harry and Meghan have been catapulted into the spotlight once again following the release of Omid Scobie's book Endgame, translated into Dutch, which exposes King Charles and Princess Kate as the senior royals who made racist remarks about Harry and Meghan's son Archie.
Journalists had been sent copies, and the book was briefly on sale in bookstores before being suddenly withdrawn in a dash by the publishers. Scobie initially said it was a translation error, which didn't really make any sense, because how do you mistranslate names? Well, I'm going to cut through all this crap. British people here who actually pay for the British royal family, you're entitled to know too. And then we can have a more open debate about this whole farrago, because I don't believe any racist comments were ever made by any of the royal family. And until there is actual evidence of those comments being made, I will never believe it. But now we can start the process of finding out if they ever got uttered, what the context was, and whether there was any racial intent at all. Like I say, I don't believe there was. The royals who are named in this book are King Charles and Catherine, Princess of Wales.
Scobie has since denied ever writing or releasing a version of the book that had these names in it.
We've heard from Omid Scobie, the author of the book today. He has denied that he ever released or wrote a version of the book that had these names in it. He said, well, look, I wasn't the only one in Fleet Street who heard about these names, quite frankly. Everyone else did. But speak to journalists who were working closely with the royal story at the time, and they say, well, we might have heard names, but we never saw evidence. And quite frankly, without any evidence, you have no defence when it comes to defamation, when it comes to the laws. So we never went to print with those names. Meanwhile, we know that certain people have been mentioning names. Piers Morgan has broadcast the names. Silence from the Sussexes. As for other senior working royals, they are getting on with the job. They'll be out and about later on today, considering all options. But when you look at the options, they're pretty tricky, yeah? Staying silent seems to be the easiest one. Do they go down a legal road? Do they issue some kind of statement? They're much trickier. So for now, the options are there, but they're pretty limited.
Hypocrisy is a major issue for Meghan and Harry's reputation, which makes them appear to lack integrity in the eyes of the public. The Sussexes are major climate change advocates. So when they were photographed a number of times taking private jets, particularly to a luxurious holiday destination, they understandably received heavy backlash.
Kinsey, it's a tale as old as time, but we have another case of Harry and Meghan being hypocrites. The Sussexes have been spotted disembarking a private jet after a luxury holiday in the Caribbean. Kinsey, for a pair of climate zealots who love lecturing the masses about global warming, this is not consistent behaviour. Prince Harry in particular has been hectoring us about green issues, and yet he certainly can't live up to the standard that he preaches.
That's right, Rita. Just think about the last 6 weeks. Harry flew to London for Well Child. Then the pair flew separately to Germany for the Invictus Games, then Portugal to see Princess Beatrice, then the Caribbean. Then we saw them exiting a private plane in Atlanta, Georgia. Harry was seen just this weekend alone by himself in Austin, Texas. You and I better watch our carbon footprint, but Harry and Meghan are the exception because one is the child of a king and the other is a deal or no deal girl.
When attention is your currency, being irrelevant means death. And that's exactly what Harry and Meghan are trying to avoid at the moment. The media across two countries are quickly tiring of the couple's antics and aren't giving them as much airtime as they once commanded, which results in less invitations to A-list events, says historian Hilary Forwich.
Let me go back to Hilary. Hilary, what is the reputation of Meghan and Harry in America right now? I mean, do people care?
Well, actually, I always say when Harry bangs on about mental health, most Americans, it seems, are far more concerned about the price of petrol here, gas, and the inflation rate in the US. That's sort of the main topic of conversation. But I will say this about in the US. I tell you an absolute fact. Not only can you look at the polls, Pierce, but look at the A-listers, look at the Hollywood set. They're not invited to all those A-list events anymore. I think that says a lot because they're the bellwether for the American people. The paparazzi here isn't as interested in them as they were. And look what happened in New York City. They even had to make up that concocted car chase that the mayor of New York, Eric Adams, had to refute.
Sky News royal commentator Angela Mollard agrees, saying she was astonished at how irrelevant Harry and Meghan are in the UK.
And I've just been in the UK, Caroline, and I was absolutely astonished by how irrelevant they are seen. I caught up with a lot of journalism mates, people that don't work in that industry, and people just don't have any time for them whatsoever. And of course, we've seen that in America as well. These polls are not just British polls, they're American polls as well, which show a decline in popularity. Harry seems to maintain it a little bit better than Meghan. Her polls keep going down. So I think there's a little bit of that kind of maybe targeting the woman as the villain in this. So, and and I don't think that's entirely correct. But I think, where do you recover? If you're sitting at home and you're Meghan and you're very driven, you've worked really hard to get all those jobs as an actress. I mean, you are being auditioned to actually get roles. So you know how important it is to be forward focused, to have a goal, to have a plan. And now she must be sitting there wondering, where has it all gone so wrong? The South Park for me was, and that sort of mockery of them, was a low point, because America was supposed to be their great champion.
And it seems Harry and Meghan are acutely aware of their flailing relevancy, with the couple struggling to find their purpose outside of the royal family.
And Scobie told People magazine the Duke and Duchess of Sussex really need to establish what their purpose is. What is their purpose, Kinsey? That is a good question.
Yeah, we need a magic 8 ball, Rita. But I think that these two stories go hand in hand. The idea that Harry and Meghan want to spend Christmas with the royal family. And then we have Omid Scobie saying that Harry and Meghan really have no value outside of the British royal family. What is their purpose? What is, when it comes at the end of the day, what are they trying to accomplish to make the world a better place? Because they told us when they stepped down as senior members of the royal family that they were going to live a life of service. And so far, all of we've seen of them is verbal vomiting on reality television shows and podcasts. So, it's interesting to see Omid say this, because it certainly is not a positive reflection on the couple. And, to see Meghan Markle at Beyonce concerts, to see Meghan Markle on Los Angeles red carpets without something to promote or without something of value to say, to promote something vague, oh, we've got good things coming. Their entire brand looks so frivolous at this point. And it really does. It's like, what are you guys doing? What are you doing?
Oh, you're so right. Frivolous is, I think, painting it in a too positive a light. Vacuous is what I would go with. That they really are just... they're not even good at airing the dirty laundry. They keep saying things that are verifiably untrue, so they get debunked very quickly. And that documentary, was it 6 parts? That was so exceedingly boring. Now, moving away from the royals...
Another massive blow to the Sussexes is their abandonment by the royal family, particularly at Christmas time.
And Louise, speaking about rehashing disputes and going around the mountain again and again, what's going on with the invites for the Royal Christmas?
Well, of course, the ultimate event to be invited to if you're a member of the royal family is the Christmas at Sandringham, of course, which the Queen used to preside over. And of course, now King Charles and Queen Camilla will run that affair and that day. We believe that some of Camilla's extended family are coming along, but who is not on the guest list, of course, is Harry and Meghan and their children. And given the current environment, that current sort of ice sheet which is laying over the royal family and Harry at the moment, frankly, I'm not surprised. I mean, why would they be invited? And if they turned up, that would be very jarring, because we're told that Harry and William aren't even speaking. So why would the future king have his brother there? It's just an absolute mess, and really it's their doing.
As well as being iced out by Harry's family, it seems they're also being ridiculed by them, with a leaked passage from the upcoming book Endgame about the Sussexes revealing Princess Kate and Prince William found the recent South Park episode about the couple hilarious. And it's no surprise that with all of the pressure to reinvent themselves after successive failures, Harry and Meghan's marriage seems to be on the rocks.
I think it'll be really interesting as he hits his 40s, as he will next year, and when he decides that he wants his children to have some connection with the family that he left behind. And I think that's when there'll be tensions come to play. And these two, they don't work things out by turning inwards and being conciliatory and compromise. That's not how they do it with other people. So there's no suggestion that they can do it with each other. I don't think it's a marriage that's going to last.
No, you're probably not the first person to say that either.